Mary says, would it be wrong to think that this could be driven by the drug industry? Seriously, I mean, I don't think it would be wrong to think that. I think you always have to look at potential conflict of interest, and I know you're saying that sarcastically, Mary. Yeah, so somebody said, I had my blood pressure, my visit done, was told I had pre-hypertension with a 137/79, exactly what you said. I've started your CalMag product now, plus your B Complete. So if you've started those, the other thing, I mean, remember what, we talk about diet and lifestyle and lowering blood pressure. So what does that look like? That means get sunshine every day. That means get 8 hours of sleep. Go to bed, but at least sleeping between the hours of 10 and 2, preferably longer, but that's 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. You know, exercise regularly to your ability to tolerate exercise. You don't have to be super aggressive with it, but you do need that motion and that movement. And that's a little different for everyone. And if you're not quite sure, you're a little nervous about it, hire a professional to help you and to teach you kind of how to exercise. You can watch videos on YouTube, or you can hire a professional to work with you one-on-one, but it's important that you do those other things. Those other things are going to help tremendously if you're trying to get your blood pressure down. You know, Rose comments, hydrochlorothiazide is handed out like candy. I see that in my practice as well. Yeah, I know. My parents always told me to stay away from drugs too, yet here we are in America where the average person 45 or older is on 5 or more medications. It's sickening to think that, you know, it's disgusting. I'm going to deviate for just a minute. In healthcare, the U.S. is ranked, I think it's 11th out of major industrialized nations. That's last. Yet we use more medicines and we spend more money than any of these countries, and we're ranked last. Like, what does that tell you empirically? If you're really just looking at the situation from the outside in, and you're looking at us as a culture, and you're saying these people spend more money on drugs and surgeries and medical procedures than any country in the world, $4.2 trillion a year, and they enjoy the worst cases of chronic disease of any other country in the world. What does that tell you? It tells you the system is broken. So why are we doing it? Why do we keep going? Why do we keep doing the same thing? Why are doctors so resistant to change? Why are hospitals and the medical professionals so resistant to change? What they're doing is obviously not working, and so they want to do more of the same, only now they want to socialize it and steal tax dollars. You know, like I paid, you know, I would rather carry no insurance personally. This is just my own personal anecdote, but if I could carry zero insurance for health, I would, because I don't believe that the system is capable of helping me. And so what I would really be paying for is nothing. I'd be paying to have a $30 copay to talk to a doctor who knows nothing about health, and that, to me, is not of value. And so I would rather take that money, and I would rather put it in a health savings account or a bank account somewhere where, in case I did have a true medical need, a true medical emergency, where our medical system really does shine, which is in the emergency rooms and the acute care trauma centers. If I really truly had that need, I could preserve what I'm throwing away every year for premiums to not use them, which is, you know, for most of you probably maybe in a similar situation, but for my family, it's thousands of dollars a year, thousands and thousands of dollars a year that I have to pay to put into a system that is completely broken, doesn't work. It steals from me to drive treatment as a healthcare right for other individuals who don't take care of themselves and then go seek out treatment that also doesn't work when they seek that treatment out. It's totally backwards. Anyway, thanks for allowing me to vent that. Is taking daily first thing in the morning a teeth of garlic chopped and placed in less than 4 ounces of water helps in maintaining healthy blood pressure? So in other words, does taking garlic help with blood pressure? For some it does, Elizabeth. There's actually some pretty good research on garlic use and blood pressure. So question about magnesium. You mentioned magnesium. Which type? Oxide, chloride, citrate, etc. Which would be best for lowering blood pressure? Oxide's probably the worst, chloride probably the second worst. Citrate and other amino acid chelates would be better options. You know, glycinate is an example of another type of magnesium. typically you're looking for what's called a Krebs cycle chelate with magnesium. Those are just better absorbed by the body and better utilized by the body than your oxides or chlorides. Can I give you an example of calcium channel blocker that can lead to polypharmacy over time? Sure. So let's just say you get on a calcium channel blocker. What happens next? Well, one of the things that happens is your CoQ10 starts to drop. CoQ10 deficiency contributes to congestive heart failure, contributes to hypertension, contributes to chronic pain, because CoQ10 deficiency leads to muscle myalgias and neuropathy. So this could be muscle or nerve. You also have the fact that CoQ10 deficiency can contribute to loss of kidney function, so reduction in kidney function. So now, okay, let's just fast forward 5 years, you're on this beta or calcium channel blocker. This is all happening to you to some degree or another. So what does the doctor want to do? They want to add a blood pressure medication. Maybe now instead of just a calcium channel blocker, they want to add a diuretic, right? So you get on the diuretic. So they add the diuretic, and now the diuretic starts to work over your magnesium and your calcium and your potassium and your vitamin B1, but diuretics also cause CoQ10 deficiency. So now your CoQ10 deficiency is worsening, then your kidney failure is worsening, and so now they want to preserve your kidney function by adding another blood pressure medicine, but then they also, because their fear is that cardiovascular disease will increase the risk for chronic kidney disease to progressively go forward, they may even actually also add a statin, right? And statins, of course, reduce CoQ10 again, and so now you're on a statin, you're on 2 different blood pressure medications, and maybe from the chronic nerve pain, they've got you over here now starting on gabapentin, right? And then the gabapentin causes your GI tract peristalsis to slow down. So now you develop IBS. And so now they want to add an IBS medication, right? And IBS medications can cause a number of problems, but one of them creates mood issues. And so now they want you on sertraline or an SSRI. You can see where this is going. It's polypharmacy is when a doctor tries to force chemical manipulate the wisdom of your body in a direction that it doesn't want to go. Your body's symptoms are not a disease. This is the myth of medicine, in my opinion. Symptoms aren't a disease. Conglomerations of symptoms aren't disease or syndromes. Symptoms are your body's way of communicating to you that you need to make a damn change. And if you ignore those symptoms or you suppress those symptoms using pharmacy, then your body will just figure out a way around it, and it will create new symptoms for you. And you'll also pay a cost, because now as you add polypharmacy, you're picking up symptoms that your body's not having necessarily to try to warn you, that you're having symptoms as a result of introduction of toxins, which is what drugs are. They are chemical manipulating toxins that are trying to force your body in a direction it doesn't want to go, all because you refuse to listen to your original symptoms. And you decided not to take active behavioral change. The drug is a passive change. It's something you take that does the work for you. And most people are just generally speaking, and again, if you take offense to this, I apologize. Not really, though. Most people are generally lazy. They don't want to take the action steps that are necessary to be healthy because it disrupts the convenience of their lifestyle. Exercise, making it a priority, disrupts the convenience of what you want to do, right? Going to bed on time disrupts. Maybe you want to stay up and play a video game or stay up and watch TikToks or whatever that looks like in your life. But when you disrupt your convenience and neglect your health, there's only one way forward, and that's either polypharmacy, right, or the development of symptoms because your body is just trying to communicate to you. And again, if you take a pause and you listen to your body, and you start asking, why are these symptoms there? And don't rely on somebody else who's never met you and who's only spending 3 minutes with you to give you the discernation of why you're sick or why you're struggling. Like, you know the answer. You just have to pick your head up out of the sand and pay attention and listen, right? And again, maybe that sounds a little bit harsh, but that is the true reality, is it become more in tune with yourself, and you follow basic fundamentals to get health. And these tenets have not changed in hundreds of thousands of years of human life. And those tenets are very simple. You have to move your body. You have to rest your body. You have to mitigate your stress. You need clean water. You need clean air. And you need clean food. And if you have those things in place and you start from that as a foundation, then oftentimes you'll find that pharmacy is an unnecessary thing, right? But again, they don't want you to know that. Doctors don't spend enough time to teach you that, right? So you have to then empower yourself. And that's why you're here tonight. You're here tonight because you're trying to empower yourself. So, at any rate, I hope that was helpful, that tangent. If salt is so demonized by Western medicine, then why do they give saline IV fluids at hospitals? Because they are trying to rehydrate you, that's all. It's standard care, it's standard practice. Dr. Osborne, can you please be my doctor? Call my office. I always say real doctors are always taking on new people because the people they're taking on are getting better. Doctors that close their practice and don't have room for more people, in my opinion, is because they're not successful in the endeavor of helping people. They're super successful in the endeavor of managing people's medications and keeping those medications managed over long periods of time, which does zero to serve the individual. But a true doctor serves the individual at the highest level, which is self-empowerment through education. And if our medical system focused on that, all the hospitals would close down. I mean, we wouldn't have, Vegas-like skyscraper scenes in every major city of all these specialized hospital buildings with thousands and thousands of doctors who go about their day medicating and managing medications. Is it safe to take the vitamins and the CoQ10 if you're on blood pressure meds? It's absolutely safe, Theo. It's very, very safe to take them concomitantly. But always check with the manufacturer of your drug and make sure that your drug, if it's to be taken with food or on an empty stomach, that you take it properly in that regard. But there's no imperative danger to taking vitamins or CoQ10 with medication. Any suggestions about what to use if you have Lyme, alpha-gal, high blood pressure, high cholesterol? Well, if you've got Lyme, you've got to get that taken care of. If you've got alpha-gal, if you get your Lyme taken care of, you should be able to consume meat in your future. But you got to get help for the core of it. And I would even argue, do you have Lyme? I mean, I've seen so many people who thought they had Lyme or read somewhere that they matched their symptoms to the symptoms of Lyme, but really didn't. Let's see, keep going down the left. What type of magnesium is, I think I answered that. Magnesium threonate, so Christine's asking about magnesium threonate. It crosses the, in terms of giving a magnesium to replete a magnesium deficiency, because magnesium threonate can also tend to make people snoozy and sleepy. It's really a great source of magnesium to go to bed at night. So if you were, struggling with sleep because you were stressed out and you wanted to calm down at night, magnesium threonate is one of the best forms to take for that sleep. I have something called CalMag, which is a form of magnesium threonate. Let's go down a little bit more. So Jean wants to know, besides eating more salt, how else can I raise my blood pressure, which is low? My functional medicine doctor advised me to raise it. That's a huge question to unpack, Jean, because there's just so many different variables and why your blood pressure might be low. I can't speak for what your functional medicine doctor has told you or done or analyzed, But in my experience, a lot of people who have really, really low blood pressure have adrenal problems. And so, you might talk with your doctor about analyzing and looking at your adrenal function to see if there's something going on there. I've also seen cases where people's blood pressure was super low because they were taking high levels of magnesium, too much magnesium. So, I mean, there's just a lot of potential possibility there. And I would just encourage you to have a much more in-depth conversation with your doc about other things to analyze and think about. So Donna wants to know, I take a B complex, is that sufficient, or do I need to take B1 and B6 separately? It depends, Donna. I mean, with B1, one of the best forms of B1 to take in this situation is something called benfotiamine, which is a fat-soluble form of vitamin B1. I have a product called Ultra B1, which contains that type of B1. My B Complete does not contain that type of B1. So if you're talking about getting your B1 up, really, if you've got a major case of B1 deficiency, you probably want to look at benfotiamine as a better option. Does lifting weights cause blood pressure to rise? Yes, but acutely. It's the paradox of weightlifting, right? Is that initially, acutely after the workout, your blood pressure goes up, but when it recovers, but over the long haul, your blood pressure is lower because you're building lean mass and you're releasing hormones and chemicals that help regulate blood pressure. So this is why exercise is so critical and important. Okay, what time is it? I'm hungry, so I know it's late, 7:25. So I think I got a lot of these questions answered. If I didn't get to you, get her earlier next time. We'll be here, again, we're here every Monday night, unless it's a holiday, for Pick Dr. Osborne's Brain. I would encourage you, if you haven't already, go and check out my newsletter. It's absolutely free, no charge to you. You go over to glutenfreesociety.org, and just if you're not signed up, sign up there. It's one way you can ensure that you'll receive my information without the censorship of mainstream media. Additionally, we're doing some really different and unique things. We're going to be doing some huge exposés on big pharma and how corrupt it is and how manipulated the system is. And if you want to check that information out, go join me on TikTok. We're building that up because even if we get censored, we're still going to be on YouTube. We're not leaving YouTube, or we're not leaving these other channels. But let's put, if you could, Mel, put up our TikTok link in there. And, if you're not following me over there, make sure you follow me, because we're going to have some unique and new content over there that I think is going to be awesome and you'll enjoy. And as always, remember what our mission is. It's to save 100 million lives. And to do that, I can show up here and you guys can listen. But the only way I can really reach that level of people is if you help me share this information. So if you know somebody who's on blood pressure medicines or struggling with blood pressure, please make sure you share this information with them. It might just save their life, and you might be, one of our warriors on the road to helping save 100 million lives. So I need your help to do that. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next Monday evening. Hey, if you've got a functional medicine or health question that you'd like me to answer for you, make sure you send me an email, glutenology@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to create a video answer just for you. Have a great day.